Jesus, twice in a row. Wow. It's gonna be a good year. I have 3 years that I've been on hormones or HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and it's been quite a ride. In a good way. I would say like no, it's kind of like a roller coaster ride, with downs and ups and twists and sidetracks and all that stuff, and it's quite fun. It's been quite a journey. You know what? I'm getting like too excited here, so let's start the video. Let's start with the good stuff. Physical stuff. Physical changes. What has physically changed on me? This is a tricky one because for me, it's like I see myself in the mirror all the time, and when you do that, you don't see changes, like because your body changes gradually, so it's nothing like an explosion, which you tend to notice. So things changes slowly and a long time, and then that thing just like a fly undetected in your radar. Because I spent like 2 years seriously that I was like, okay, nothing is changing. Like, what's the big deal of HRT? It's kind of like I fought to get on them, and I don't see the big deal of it. But the reality is that my skin got softer, and that was really noticeable like in the first 6 months of my transition of starting the HRT. My skin got softer, and the interesting part is that my boyfriend actually stated that my body odor has changed. Like he met me before my transition, so he could tell like the difference how I was smelling. He said you had such a boy smell, and now it's like so different. Now it's kind of like a sweet smell. Even like when I sweat, when I do exercise, he loved the smell. It's kind of like it turns him on. Too much info, but it turns him on because it's a different kind of a smell. So that changed, and that surprised me because I was really not aware of that. I, I was not really aware of my body odor, to be honest, because normally I tend to shower regularly like anybody or everybody should. My face got softer, and of course the laser hair removal helped a lot. It doesn't have like the rough edges. I lost a little bit of weight, to be honest. It's not like the weight, but in my family, like the females have these kind of skinny, fat-free faces, and unlike the rest of the body. And I used to have like a rounder face shape, full, and now it's kind of like it looks smaller. I don't know how to explain it, but it softened my facial features, and I love it. I seriously love it. Other things that changed was okay, the body fat redistribution, which is how your fat redistribute itself around the body. I think it didn't change much, to be honest. I still have a lot of my fat stored like on my belly and my back, but that's genetic. Like all the women store the fat like on their upper body. I hate it. Oh, what a bad lottery ticket in the genetic department. It's kind of like, but it has changed a lot. Like when I run regularly and I lose weight, I noticed that a lot of the fat goes away from my upper body very easily, but my lower body is still in shape, very much in shape. My legs are quite muscular, but I find that I have more curves, more that from somebody who exercises. I'm not the skinny type with like with fat butts or that, or like the Kim Kardashian thingy. I never had any operation or injections for those things, so I like my body shape. It's kind of a square for a girl, but I do have the legs, I do have some ass, all natural, all fat, but I don't have that or that fat redistribution like you see with some other trans woman out there. But it's because of genetics, and to be honest, I'm happy with how my body looks. I get a lot of compliments because people compliment me that I'm in great shape and that I must exercise a lot, which I do. Right now, I'm actually training for a half marathon in October in Eindhoven, so I'm super excited about that. Another thing that changed physically, yeah, my boobs. Let's be honest. My breast. I'm not gonna show it. I always like, I don't know. Maybe I should be like the other transgender YouTubers or the other transgender on YouTube that always create their videos showing cleavage, and then they wonder like they act so surprised like, oh my god, why do I have so many subscribers? It's maybe because you're sharing a lot of tits, but but no. Back on track. I don't have any surgery or any. Let me see if I can show you. I have to. They're not quite big. They're like a B85B. It's a B cup. I don't have any implants. These have grown only on hormones, and I think I'm happy with them. They're right for my size, for how tall, for my body size. They're just right. I went to a implant consultation and I changed my mind. I didn't wanted it. I was happy with what I had, and I didn't want it to ruin that. Sometimes it's kind of like, why am I doing this? To fit in a mold of what a girl's breast should look like. I was not gonna put myself through that when it was not necessary. So the hormones did its job. However, I have to be honest with that because um, as a teenager, and this raises a lot of the question that I might be intersex because, for example, my voice never dropped. How I speak now, I spoke back then as a teenager and in my 20s. Uh, my voice never deepened, which was a huge point of harassment from everybody. Because believe it or not, it was even more high pitched than this, and it lowered because I took singing lessons to lower my voice a bit more. My voice never dropped. My breast began to develop, like seriously, my breast began to develop when I was 16. I didn't know what was going on. I was quite frightened. My parents thought that I was already on hormones back then, but they didn't say anything. I didn't know anything about HRT back then. And I thought that, what's going on? But nobody raised a concern about it, neither did I. So I did get a lot of harassment and unwanted attention by men and also by women, but you know how men behave with those kind of things. Um, so there was a lot of sexual harassment on that part. And my breast was a kind of issue for me growing up because they called so much attention. People were making fun of it. And I'm so glad I didn't do anything about it. And when I started on HRT 3 years ago, they continue developing at a high rate. Like that was the first thing that I noticed. My breast became so tender to the touch that if I brushed against something lightly, I was in so much pain I wanted to punch someone, literally. And this lasted until earlier this year. Now the softness, the tenderness has disappeared. However, however, my next point will come in the next session about my breast.